Hi guys, Dr. Justin Salvi here. I'm going through your second semester test and I'm looking at the moment at question 6. On the whole, this question was answered pretty badly. You don't know your theory, which is a nice place to get marks, because if you know it and you can simply write it down, that's a very easy, quick 2 marks. This is also a very nice question because this is some real mathematics that's going on over here. You get a nice opportunity to use some cool terminology. But yeah, okay, let's go through it now. So, 6.1, you were simply asked to state the intermediate value theorem, so that should be a nice few easy marks. The intermediate value theorem says that suppose that f is a continuous, this bit is very important, it's a continuous function on some interval, on the interval a to b, that's a closed a, b, then if you've got some number m that sits between f of a and f of b, okay, so if you've got a number m that sits between f of a and f of b, then there exists, oh, there's a nice little use of the exists from logic, then there exists c, an element of open interval a, b, such that f of c is equal to m. And that's the intermediate value theorem right there. Right, part 6.2, you were asked to use, well, it didn't ask you to use, but you should have got a big clue from the way that the question was set up that you were going to use the intermediate value theorem. Right, so if f of x is equal to e to the x plus 3, show that there exists a number c in minus 5 to 0 such that f of c is equal to 0. And you'll notice that that looks very similar to this line over here. So our m value in this case is going to be 0. But before we even start, the most important thing, we have to show that f is a continuous function. If it's not a continuous function, well, then it could jump over the value that we're interested in. So the first thing we need to note is that e to the x and 3 as functions are all continuous on, well, on the whole of the real numbers. Therefore f of x, which is simply equal to the sum of them plus x plus 3, is certainly continuous on the closed interval minus 5 up to and including 0. Okay, so that's just, there's a half a mark assigned to that, just to show that you've checked the that the function is continuous. Of course, you've got that lovely theorem that says that if you've got continuous functions on their domains, then you can just add them together and you'll get a continuous function. Right, so we know that f of x is continuous on the function here. We now need to show that our m value, 0, is between f of a and f of b. Well, a is minus 5 and b is 0, so we need to work out the f of these two values. So we've got the f of minus 5, and this is some lovely mathematics here, is equal to the e of minus e to the power of minus 5 plus minus 5 plus 3. We can simplify that here. E to the minus 5 is 1 over e to the 5, and to that we're adding plus minus 5 plus 3, so that's we're subtracting 2. Now this is where things get really, really interesting, because now e, you know, is some number between 2 and 3, and when you multiply that by itself 5 times, you're going to get a number that is, well, e is bigger than 1, so when you divide 1 by a number that's bigger than 1, you're going to get a number that is smaller than 1. So here you've got a number that is positive but smaller than 1, and you're subtracting 2. So that is going to be negative. Now this is one of the tricky parts, but it really is a nice question, this one. And then we also have to work out the f of 0, and that's equal to, this one's a little bit easier, you've got e to the power of 0 plus 0 plus 3, and that's simply equal to, well, e to the power of 0 is 1 plus 0 plus 3, that's equal to 4, and that certainly is greater than 0. So what we've shown here is we've shown that f of minus 5 is less than 0, which is less than f of 0, which is exactly this form over here. We've got f of minus 5 is less than some m value, which is less than f of 0. Now, the intermediate value theorem says by the IVT Therefore, there exists an element inside the open interval a to b, so -5 up to 0, exclusive, such that the f of c is equal to 0. Now, isn't that lovely?